After defeating Mendez, it was time to head to the castle. And my God, you do not know what true pain is until you see this over and over and over again. Ashley was just too slow to keep up. She kept getting hit by the fireballs from the catapults every single time. Ashley! And remember when I said I will only use grenades for certain situations? Yeah, this was going to be one of those situations. I mean, I had no control of Ashley at all. I couldn't tell her to go hide in a dumpster somewhere. So was this an L for me? I'll let you decide that, because there's more of these coming up soon. It was time to take on the fearsome Garrador. Like Mendez, going in for the QTE stab to his back would degrade my knife faster than you could say.
Ballistics.
So the only choice I had was to do a couple of quick stabs to his back whenever there was an opening.
Gotcha.
So as long as I stayed quiet and came up from behind him with some sneak attacks, I would do just fine. After a dozen stabs later, I finally took him down, making some extra cash in the process. Now in this room, this is where the knife only run would truly end. Normally, you would need a gun to shoot these plates in order to ring the bell and open this gate, so you can retrieve the sword on the other side. And I know what you're thinking. Did I use a gun here? No, I didn't. I actually ended up using flashbangs to ring the bells on the other side of the gate. And with the sword in hand, I was able to complete the puzzle in this room. The water room was definitely one of the most difficult sections in this run. I needed to go downstairs and obtain a wheel, then use that wheel to bring down a set of stairs. All while simultaneously fighting a horde of cultists and protecting Ashley. Ashley! My first obstacle was to handle the horde on the ground floor. I kited them through the double doors and slowly whittled down their numbers. Once the floor was cleared, I headed downstairs and ignored the enemies and made a beeline for the wheel. With the stairs down, it was time to protect Ashley.
You gonna be okay?
Yeah, I got this.
I threw one flashbang at the first wave of enemies to buy some time.
Now that one.
Be careful!
Then allowed one of them to grab her, because if there's any enemies next to her while she's running, she'll freeze up and stop moving. So the solution to this problem would be to just let Ashley get grabbed. And then wait until they're close enough to the next wheel, and throw a flashbang to free Ashley. Afterwards, I threw a grenade to kill any pursuers.
Sorry.
Now, I needed to be careful when aiming my grenades and flash grenades. If I threw the flashbang too close to Ashley, it will interrupt her, setting our progress back down to 0. But eventually, I managed to protect Ashley long enough to raise the bridge.
Okay, get back here!
And move on to the next area.
Your princess is a spirited individual. I must say, she gave us a considerable For the fight against the Garrador Duo, since they were, once again, blind, they will attack anyone near them, indiscriminately. I took advantage of this. I ran around the room non-stop to bait them to attack the other cultists. Once the room was cleared, a QTE stabbed the armored one until he was dead, which took up all my extra knives.
I didn't know at the time, but there will be consequences for doing this later.
Such a fool, Mr. Kennedy.
Then, I used the same strategy from earlier to take down normal Garrador. Yeah, I didn't even bother fighting this guy. His health was just way too high to take down. I mean, my knife always breaks before I even can kill it. But since it was an optional fight, I decided to run from him until the elevator came.
After you, I insist.
Such a gentleman.
Now you owe me.
Luis, heads up!
Now we're even. It's always like this with you. Leon! This one's on me! Two of them! One for each!
This is where things started to heat up. There were two Gigantes, and one of them was covered in armor, which means my knife won't be able to do any damage to him.
Just can't get through the armor.
Luckily, Luis was there to distract one of them. I put my main focus on the one that wasn't covered in armor, and used the same strategy from our previous fight. But this time, when he became enraged, I switched with Luis since he would be the only one that could shoot Gigante's weak spot. And what about me, you might ask? Well, I just chilled under the armored Gigante until Luis killed the other one. 8 minutes later, now it was time to deal with the armored one. I waited for Luis to retrieve a bomb.
Sorry, keep our friend busy for me.
Where do you think you're going?
When he returned,
Leon! Over here! Delivery!
this is where things started to get a little tricky. If I blow up the bomb and Gigante isn't on top of the trap door, that's it. I would need to start this fight all over again. But after a few attempts, I was lucky enough to stun him and drop him into the pit.
Beautiful! Just as planned. All right. Perfect timing. There, it's moving. This should speed things up a bit.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Hey, we're in a hurry, right? Oh, by the way,
What now?
hope you like thrill rides.
Oh yeah, I guess I need to talk about the minecart section. This is totally how this section went. I definitely did not use a gun here. This is actual gameplay from Resident Evil 4. Jokes aside, the game did force me to use a gun. I mean, I didn't even have a gun in my inventory, and the game still gave me one. And plus, look what happens if I don't shoot.
We are just getting started.
Not really much to say about this fight other than I love the change they made to it. It's not just a bunch of button prompts on the screen and you're basically just watching a movie play out in front of you. Anyway, yeah, I just kept parrying him and then countered him until he gave up.
You haven't changed a damn bit. What a disappointment.
And so, I have delivered the girl to you as promised. Do tell our Lord to not forget the loyalty of his servant, Ramon.
Ashley!
Such a fool, Mr. Kennedy. You have been bestowed the Lord's
You talk too much.
failed. You vulgar, utterly uncivilized mongrel. Allow me to show you the power I've been granted by my master. The power of God. The stage is set for the final act.
If there ever was an embodiment of a brick wall for me, it would be Saladzar. If there ever was an embodiment of a brick wall for me, it would be Saladzar. He has a crap ton of health, acid bombs that can stun and damage Leon. And these things, I swear, they just spawn almost out of nowhere. The acid beam, which actually wasn't so bad to dodge. But wait, I'm not done yet. To make things even better, he has an insta-kill move. That move has caught me so many times. Not because I never saw it coming, but because I would just run off screen and then boom, acid bomb. After a while, I was able to deal with the final blow by being, surprisingly, a QTE stab out of desperation.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we got him.